Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forge Alliance Forever. This is the final of Legend of the Stars Qualifier number 1. That is the first qualifier for the 2020 end of year tournament. Starring Tagada with Cybran, Turin. This is Turin, Sonozaki Mion. Shion, sorry. Has my Japanese. And he's yellow Aeon. The map is Eye of the Storm. He got some mind games here. Turin saying time for first bomber, as he doesn't go for first bomber. Tagada says his ACU moved. Looks like he did move slightly. GG. So this is the final, best of 5. Let me look at the challenge very quickly, and I can tell you who they've played in the semi-final as they complete their build orders. Well, looks like Tagada took out Swackle and Turin took out Esperanto. So the way these qualifiers work is that the top 4 players get through to the end of your tournament. So there's four qualifiers, 4 spots each, 16 players in the final tournament, which will have a group stage and a playoff section, which will happen in December. So qualifier number 2 is already fast approaching. I was not present in the qualifier number 1, so I think I better not wait till the last qualifier to try to get in, because it's not going to be easy. I will probably be playing qualifier number 2. Hopefully we can get top 4 there and move on. But in this opening we can see Tagada actually is going to have his air factories faster. That's for sure. You can see his two almost completed now. Completing at almost exactly the same time there. And Turin has one and a second one only half completed. He is sending... I always pressed the wrong key there. He's sending an Aurora to the middle island. And his ACU has begun walking to this location. You can see he has a factory queued up in that expansion there. Tagada is moving to middle. Not unusual on this map to do that versus Aeon, or even versus Seraphim, as Seraphim will probably try to use a Zui to attack the middle. So Tagada is going here, not sending an engineer, instead sending the commander, and he's going to take middle. Obviously there's nothing going to be able to stop him from taking middle with the commander. The Aurora might reach the, well, it will reach the water, and I'm wondering if Tagada will be able to maybe do a bit of reclaiming on that Aurora as it hovers over his head. The engineer for Turin will be able to take a little bit of reclaim, at least. Hopefully he's queued up reclaim before other things. Yeah, so reclaim mechs. He might be able to get 2 of the chunks of reclaim before the ACU arrives. The opening though is going to be heavily based on air. Look at this. Turin is a notorious air whore, and he has 3 air factories now. Tagada with 2, but also with a little bit of assistance on one of them. Still not equal to Turin's production, because 3 engineers give you 15 build power. A T1 factory of any kind has 20, so now he's actually doubled the production of this air factory. And Tagada is looking for the air fight, and he's also invested in a bomber. He actually bombed the Aurora and the engineer. No, sorry, he didn't bomb the Aurora. He's heading to bomb it right now, though. He did bomb the engineer, saved some reclaim for his commander, and Tagada did not take the airfight. Turin retreated away. This Aurora, these two Auroras, will they actually manage to save the engineer? It doesn't look like they will. The Magus is now out of range, and it's actually going to get a very nice kill. The Aurora attempts to dodge, but the bomber finds him. Now what other targets can the bomber find for himself? You can see this is a target. This guy here is a target, although both of them have basically completed their jobs. This is a very valuable engineer for Turin, but the bomber is... Oh, the engineer actually managed to finish the job that the Aurora started. The engineer reclaimed the Mantis, that's why you don't see any wreck around. And the engineer was on 40 HP, but then the bomber comes in, ruins his day. Imagine you actually managed to reclaim the Mantis with the with the NG, and then you just get bombed. It's very sad. Turin should have, I mean, at least equal air. Perhaps he really should have more, considering he has 3 air factories. Tagada is dropping. He's also making a T2 mechs in his base. He's dropping to the left side. The commander is building a factory, after which he will probably leave. Yeah, he's actually heading to the left side. So here comes perhaps the most important part of the game so far. It's the air fight. And Turin is winning it. For sure he is. It was very dodgy micro from Tagada, I would say. This bomber is looking to bomb something. For a second I thought he bombed it in midair there. But there's 2 Mantis here already. There's only 4 engineers. They're not going to be able to build a PD in time, that's for sure. The transport is actually defending. Look at this. Look at the hitbox of the transport. No, don't pick up the transport. It's protecting you. Oh my god, the transport was just tanked 340 damage. Actually allowed the PD to go up, but all the engineers go down. And Tagada drops in this location, has a factory, has units, has build power, and Turin has a PD, and that's all. And he's also lost the middle, of course. And yeah, winning the air fight was huge, but actually not enough to put him in a really good position. Because I don't see how Turin holds this. I mean, clearly, what does he have here? And once this ACU arrives, there'll be no reinforcements able to get past that commander. And really, we only have a very slow trickle of 1 Aurora, 1 factory. So, it's not too important. Also in the Navy, Tagada's got there faster. Tagada has the better frigate. That is just a fact. Turin is absolutely gurning for an air fight, and he gets it. There is 1 anti-air. It's actually out of position though, and this is gonna win air for Turin, that's for sure. But it's also gonna leave reclaim in the base. The anti-air contributed something, a little bit of something, but Tagada with a very good position right now. T2 air is complete for Turin, and this is gonna have to do a lot of damage. It's possible that it does. Now we do have 4 anti-air here. I would just love to see somebody ground fire an Aeon gunship right in the middle of all of these. It's very unlikely that would ever work, but it would be amazing to see. Maybe you just go for the ACU snipe. Maybe that's possible. It seems very unlikely. All these land factories can immediately switch to anti-air. There's already some anti-air coming out, but very little. And Aeon Cyber anti-air, safe to say that it is the weakest in terms of actually killing air units of the T1 anti-air, because, well, on the flip side, it can actually shoot land units, so that seems fair. Oh, bit of a bump there. That's bullying, you know. This guy's a bully. This is what it's like when you have a pretty low sense mouse. you can do manual tracking. Yeah, this is good damage, but he should continue. He should continue and do some more because he's going to take... Ooh, yeah, that's a large army that he's up against. He's actually retreating the gunships to deal with these. I hope he has the anti-air immediately targeted. There it goes. God damn, that was brutal. Just killed 3 units with those volleys there. Oh my god, those gunships are... That's... wow. It's a bit more brutal than I thought it was, but still they get forced away by some T1 anti-airs. The slow fire rate is, I guess, a sufficient penalty to that impressive AoE. Three T2 mexes, sorry, 4 now. T2 P-Gen coming up for Tagada as he completes T2 air. T2 P-Gen with no adjacency, sadly, for Turin, and only 2 upgraded mass extractors. This is nice though, look at this. The gunships, remember, they were a little bit damaged, well now they're all fully healed. This one even has more HP than it had to begin with. Seems it has 12 kills in a veterancy. But there's major things that need to be accomplished here. If the middle could be regained by Turin, that would be a huge help. This is interesting. And he is coming to middle. He's going to immediately take this out. I think 4, yeah, gunships can take that out. The anti-air next. Need some split attack. And they're all gone. That's amazing. Tagada is surprised. Oh, that was impressive. Maybe people will play Aeon. Maybe not though, because of Aurora. People really hate Auroras. This ACU doing as much as it can. You see, Turin is taking risks like this, as in, you know, a T1 ACU, no upgrades, alone, very close to the enemy base. He'll take risks like this because he's in such a bad position. If we look at the mass, it is not close. It is actually not close at all. And now this army has been rebuilt. It already got pushed away by gunships. Now it returns and pushes through as the gunships take out the middle. We need a transport to drop to middle. Looks like that's happening right now. The anti-airs are being wasted against Aurora, and the gunships are going to clean up the Mantis quickly, as well as the Medusa. But again, we need... Again, I mean, he needs to be so fast that he has to drop here as well. Should have more engineers on board so they could drop here and here. But Turin making a really good fight of it. Unfortunately, this is the flip side. 4 T2 mexes in the expansion now. T2 land factory coming up. Is that an HQ? It is. Not much anti-air, gotta say. I think he may need more anti-air. Oh, the frigates come in and they're actually going to kill some of the anti-air protecting this base. And also, they can even reach the Hydro. That's a lot of range. Tagada totally idle with his Navy, has not been using it. I think he hasn't been sending it around too much because he's afraid that it will basically just get torped for free. So, but he does need to use it. Even if he comes and tries to kill this production and forces torpedoes, that's fine in my view. He needs to take out these frigates because they are being very annoying. They're also giving a lot of vision. No, not the... don't send the gunships there. Hang on, I want to just before this, before any of these die, I want to see the. Oh, 1,200, 1,200 mass killed. That's amazing. He's actually fighting the frigates. No, stop doing that. Oh god. Now let's see who has more air. It's gotta be Turin. He also has, yeah, seven Swifties. The 7 Swifties making the difference here. But again, the eco. Where's the counter to the eco? These gunships are amazing. Turin is really making this work, even though he has 10k less mass than his opponent. He's trying to catch up a little bit on eco. He's got one mechs upgrading here. He's actually got one almost finished here. Taking reclaim. Needs more engineers around the map to get the reclaim. Look at all of this here. We got 2,000 mass on the left side. And maybe, you know, maybe the commander can do something. I'm not sure what exactly. He can't do anything without upgrades, that's for sure. Some T2 lanyards coming out. Where's the flak? Well, we got 2 flaks. And actually the flak and Rhino being dropped to the middle island. And there are no defenses here. There's T2 radar, there's mexes, there's air staging coming up in the middle. And it feels like Tagada might be aiming for T2 Navy next, now that he has a strong economy. This airfight is probably unnecessary. Anti-air's coming up. There's 2, 3 underneath this fight. And there were. The gunships came in and just marked him. Maybe a power snipe is on the cards. There's not too much anti-air. Oh, T2 factory comes up. Flak comes up out of it. That's amazing timing on that. The gunships need to be saved. They're low HP. They need to head away back towards air staging. They need to be saved. Look, they're all low HP. Come on. No, please, run away. Fly away. These guys are heroes. And the flak is shooting. The flak is in range. Another gunship goes down. Another gunship goes down. There's only 3 left. The gunships here have been killed. There were some gunships on this side. Another anti-air. Oh my god. Every gunship dies here. Commander not upgrading. The Rhino killed the entire center island except for one mass extractor, and it's actually Turin who's got T2 Navy now. Trying to parlay his air win into naval dominance. Look at all these Aurora. There's very, very idle Aurora there. I think instead of pausing these factories, he should probably recycle them for mass. I'm sure he's struggling for mass to get this first destroyer out. The frigate's going down. There's so much reclaim. This is the flip side here. There's 8,000 mass actually. That's incredible. Just in this corner, it's mostly right outside his base. Just so many dead interceptors for both teams, both players. So many dead engineers here. Look at this. This is a massacre. T2 Navy started now as the first destroyer begins to make its way across the map. The T2 land units are arriving, but they're being suicided. There goes 2 rocket bots for free. I don't know what these walls are. They don't actually go to the edge of the map, but yeah, they're there. And still Tagada has far superior economy thanks to, well, now he has storages here, now he has a lot of reclaim to fund his T2 naval dreams, and he has 4 T2 mexes here for a long time. Actually, he already had T2 Navy here. No, he made 2 HQs. He made 2 naval HQs. Oh, the flak just got sniped actually by these gunships in the middle. And we need, once again, the middle has to be retaken quickly. Commander building a wall here. Hadrian on the right there. Another T2 mechs, and Turin is really making this close, but was this battle worth it? I don't know if it was. Let's take a look at their total reclaim numbers. Tagada 7,500 now. 4,300 for Turin. Oh, he sends the gunships in to kill the engineers, but he really did not kill enough there at all. A lot of these are T2. They actually survive a single volley of fire from those gunships. So many T2 engineers, in fact. That's a lot of build power. T1 bombers might be a better tool for this. Or perhaps the oh, there's a flak here. Look at this, 12 kills. This gunship has killed one T2 engineer. That's all. A couple T1 engineers there. And that did not work out. Now there's 2 destroyers versus 2, but there's also frigates for Tagada. Now the advantage is that the destroyers are split, so if we turn and come back the other way, it might be possible to get some 2 versus 1 fights. But as it is, Tagada is dodging the Aeon destroyer shots, and Turin not dodging quite as well. You can see he's actually taking shots. It's easy to dodge both these destroyers' shots, and they both have the same range. So 3 destroyers now versus 4 for Tagada. Here we can see the wow, this is an interesting naval battle. Gunships coming in, fighting the destroyers. We got 2 destroyers and frigates on this side versus 3. Oh no, 2 versus 1 here. Against this Aeon destroyer. Takes out a frigate. That's not really what he wants to take out. You can see the Salems can defend themselves pretty well versus the gunships. Torpedo bomber gets a single pass before the cruiser takes it out. Huge damage on this side. Were these T2? No, still T1 mexes. But whatever attacked here, I assume Aurora has now died. And it's all about the Navy. 3 destroyers for the Cybran. 4 destroyers for the Aeon. No frigate support. There goes another frigate. I think Turin needs to kill. He needs to be targeting destroyers. Oh, that shot landed. Turin is in the worst concave ever. Surrounded on both sides. Oh, the cruiser dodges the final shot and does not go down. Now the Aeon destroyer is getting very close, and they're getting destroyed now. The torpedo damage of the Salems coming in, can't dodge that stuff. And there's just too many T2 ships for Tagada. Turin could not match the production at all. Did not have the economy to do that. Cruiser defending very well versus the air attack. And this looks like the end for Turin. The only hope really was he had to get very good naval trades in the beginning and then begin to snowball and clear one position here. So maybe this position was the position to attack. That might have been it, if he can also damage the production. You know, he tried to do that with gunships, tried to kill, you know, engineers, but look at how many T2 engineers we have. Right, a T2 naval factory has 90 build power. He has 8 T2 engineers that have 12.5 build power each, so a lot of build power added to this naval factory. Same on this side, so just way too much production. Tagada was basically putting all of his mass into T2 ships. You can see how quickly he outproduced Turin. All of Turin's stuff is dead now. But yeah, you can see he had T1 engineers basically helping him. And did not have the economy to match what Tagada was doing. So Tagada takes game 1 eventually. Turin made it a really good game. Maybe there's a way back in, but Tagada used his anti-air really well. Like this flak here defending the Navy, defending the base, 1200 mass killed. These flaks were here ready to defend against attacks on this factory. Maybe T1 bombers were the way, you know. Maybe you could kill some production, send the destroyers all against this position, some torps maybe. Perhaps it was possible, but a good win from Tagada. Let's move on to map number 2 in this best of 5 final. Alright, game number 2 of the best of 5 final of the end of year tournament. Qualifier number 1. What a long phrase that we have to say to explain what's happening. Hopefully you got all that. But you're halfway into the video already. Or maybe a third. But you should know what's happening. We got Tagada, we got Turin. And they're both Cybern. The map, Sweep Wing Sanctum. Made by Bias. This map, very spread out. It's a very wide map. And there's quite a lot of mass. No early hydrocarbon. And this map is very tricky. I feel it is definitely Cybern oriented. The damage that is possible with a good build with a lot of T1 spam to begin with is huge. There's a lot of potential. And both these players have gone for Cybern. I'm not surprised. So let's see how they approach the build. Looks like Turin, yeah, that's third air. Second land, third air. I think actually it's second air from Tagada. He's actually leaving with the commander immediately. Has 3 engineers to replace him. That's 2 engineers have the same build power as 1 commander. So they actually have an equal number, an equal build power building right now. But Tagada's ACU is heading over the horizon, running to middle where there is reclaim, and I can't show you that on the right screen. Can't show you the labels, but here we go. That's 571 mass there. We got some more. We got an air factory here, and here, and some civilian buildings, and a PD, I think. Mangled PD. 2 mantas already to the bottom side. No engineers sent to expand here though. Tagada with a lot of centralized build power, and he desperately actually needs the reclaim to continue building with all of these. You can see how he's actually stopped building the land factory, or rather he's building it with 1 engineer. Most of his engineers in the base are assisting the bomber. That was quite a nice build, I'll say. And now he switches back to building with the engineers as he reaches the reclaim and begins getting all that extra mass, which he has to spend. So very nice approach by Tagada so far. Turin only now leaving the base. All of that mid mass is gone. He can actually see that it's not here anymore. And I think this engineer is in grave danger. Well, would you look at that? Oh, it was almost an auto dodge there. So the engineer stopped to build the mechs. If that bomber was just half a second later, it would have overshot and missed the engineer, which would have been very unlucky, but that is avoided. The Cyber bomber does what it needs to do. Now gets 2 more kills. Damages some P-gens. Is ground firing the air factory now, where there's an inti building and almost constructed, and just as it's about to be constructed it gets bombed. The anti-air comes out, does significant damage to the bomber, but does not kill it. There's also 2 intis on guard with this bomber. They're a bit out of position now, but the bomber comes in again. Another engineer goes down. Radar will be next. And this bomber is doing huge damage. Tagada still not expanding to the left. Actually, oh, these mantis have actually done a lot of damage. He has tried to expand to the left. You can see here. This is where the damage was done. The bomber with 5 kills. Inti gets in behind it and snipes it. It's a good kill by that prowler. But the bomber has done more than its fair share. This expansion denied, or at least slowed down greatly. There's also reclaim here, which perhaps the engineer would have headed towards. And another bomber is already out for Tagada. Meanwhile, he's got 2, 4, 6, 7 land factories in his base. 3.5 for Turin. 3.5 land factories. And this expanding engineer goes down as well to this bomber. I'm jumping all around the place because we really need to catch all this. This is a crush ongoing. And it's all about the bombers. The second air, the assisted bomber from Tagada has done immense damage. And the follow-up bomber has done not insignificant damage either. Now the mantis are coming. The ACU has moved to the left. He'll take these mexes and then he'll probably walk over. Take this mass here. He could even walk forward, take this forward expansion with spam from his main base. Turin walking forward. And then to the top side. He actually can't do that. He would most likely die. Even just the units here, 15 mantis, would be close to killing the commander. And then if we factor in just a few reinforcements from the base, Turin moves here. I don't think he survives, so he rethinks that move order, goes back around through the middle towards the top to a safer position. But this looks very, very bad for Turin. The start from Tagada was fantastic. He's actually kept the second bomber alive. Here it is with 5 kills. Looking for that vet, looking for some regen for additional health, but he's getting attacked now by the anti-air and manages to escape that one as well, but only for a moment. He will finally go down now. Inti's coming in to make sure as well. Another engineer killed by another bomber. This bomber sniped by an Inti. The Inti will probably go down in return. Let's look at the mass income. Well, look at the map control for Tagada now. Got 17 T1 mexes, taking this expansion with the commander. Mass in the bank, a nice balance. Not wasting power, but does have a full power bar. He's got a transport as well. There are some places which need a transport to be reached. These 2 little pockets to either side of the base. Far less mexes for Turin as he struggles to get what ought to be his. He also has 46 mantis, 6 anti-air, 66 mantis, and some Medusa as well. And Turin really struggling. Tagada increases in map control once again. Turin not down here. There's also a little bit of reclaim to be grabbed, so transport is up for Turin now. Although Turin sits more than 2,000 mass behind in total, Tagada could even begin thinking about higher tech levels. Could begin thinking about a T2 Mex or T2 Land, or actually T2 Air might be the best approach. Just take air control, and because the map is so spread out, it's very, very difficult to defend versus Corsairs and gunships. This mass only been taken now, but guess who's taking it? That's right, Tagada. Let's see how much more reclaim he has. 3,500, less than 1,000 for Turin. Oh my goodness. It's not even close. And now a huge army rocks up to Turin's base. This cliff is a bit interesting. I don't think Tagada is going to push in here. Doesn't really make any sense, but keeping Turin in his base with most of his units, that makes a lot of sense. Now actually pushing in and taking the trade is a bit trickier. He's retreating now, waiting for actually the gun upgrade to finish on his comm, and then the push will begin in earnest. Let's get ready to go, little creepy crawlies. Look at these guys. Soldiers of the revolution. The comm begins the long march, and Turin is in the middle of the map. One of the most dangerous places in this map, because generally there's a huge amount of spam and all of it can converge in the center very quickly. The commander is moving for Tagada to block the retreat of Turin's ACU towards his own base, and I think Turin's life might be coming to an end. He may even want it to come to an end. He looks to be moving directly towards this gun comm and a large army of Mantis. Now he seems to be retreating. Maybe he's realized the predicament he's in, and all the Mantis are running away. The commander is strolling. He can't really do anything. Whoa, can't do anything other than stroll, to be honest. Actually, the Cybran commander kind of waddles, doesn't he? Kind of goes side to side. Like a penguin. Jesters! Jesters for Turin. He's... Oh no, don't do this. You need time to kill your enemy commander. You don't need to send your commander in to die immediately. Some kind of lag in the game caused by somebody trying by Rifle, I think. And Turin wasted his chance here. The Jesters, he has some, but he walked his commander into a huge army, left his army behind, and he's going to go down before the Jesters even arrive to fire a bolt. That's quite sad. Although these Jesters would not be able to kill the commander anyway. You can see Tagada was using the commander plus the build power of the Mantis to construct anti-air as fast as he could. Many Jesters would have been needed to actually make that snipe happen, so it wouldn't have worked anyway. I think at least Turin tried, but the opening just went perfectly for Tagada. The second air assisted bomber did just give him a huge advantage and was used very well, so good play there, especially bombing. I mean, the initial bombs, this one, plus, yeah, it's actually this engineer right here, plus 2 engineers in the base was good, but then bombing the Inti just before it completed. It was about 95% completed when it got bombed and killed. That was huge. And a great play. So 2-0 to Tagada, and he's looking for the clean sweep. Let's head to game number 3 and see if Tagada takes the clean sweep or Turin makes a comeback. Alright, game number 3. Currently it is 2-0 to the man up here in the left, Tagada. Turin, Sonozaki, is well, he's 2 maps down, and he's UEF, he's opening first bomber. Tagada takes Cybran. Turin takes UEF and goes first bomber. Well, that is interesting. Certainly interesting. I wonder... Well, I wonder what his follow-up will be, but first off, we have to see how well he can actually do with this first bomber. So he builds a P-gen first, and then the air factory. He needs the additional power to actually build the bomber. Then he will build more P-gens, mexes, and he's gonna get the hydrocarbon after that with the commander and the engineer that comes out. You can actually, instead of building the additional P-gens, you can actually build a P-gen air factory, and then you can assist the bomber's construction. That's also possible, but this is perhaps a less all-in approach. But it will delay the bomber compared to what it could be, or how fast it could be. Tagada, in his base, he's making 2 land factories. It's gonna make... Oh, that air factory is planned to be very late, so he's gonna have to rely on anti-air here. And let's leave Turin's screen here, and let's see what the bomber can do. Here it comes. Oh, that's gonna be a good one. He's gonna get 2 here, surely. Yes, there goes 2 inties. Sorry, NGs. How do I always mix those up? Anti-air coming out. It's actually coming out very quickly. Another engineer goes down, no dodge. And we got that bug again where the damage says he's only got 2 kills. He has got 3 kills on the bomber, 4 kills on the bomber. This is a very decent first bomber right now. And he flies away to safety, away from the anti-air. There's now 2 anti-airs out. There's going to be a 3rd anti-air out. No engineers in the base except this one right here, and of course the big engineer with the big gun, who has other things to be doing, let's be honest. But he's got to build now. There's another kill, 4 kills now. Can he escape? I don't think so, no. 2 anti-airs firing at him for a long time, and the bomber goes down. That is not bad. That's not bad at all. But still, the base is not looking great for Turin. You can see it still does take a lot out of you, but that should be about worth it, I would say. It should be, if Turin has managed his own economy properly, and he looks like he hasn't. He's way overbuilt P-gens. I don't know why he's built these 2 extra ones when he has 3 in the base. So that's a sad error to see, actually. You'd nearly kill these and reclaim them and just build more land factories. Just cut your losses. Also, this land factory is idle. Perhaps a lack of reclaim is what's happened to Turin here. That might be the issue. I mean, Tagada, look at all this reclaim he's getting. All these orders. That's insane how much manual reclaim he's doing. But unfortunately on this map it's quite necessary. Turin taking maybe a lazier approach and attack moving. The problem with attack moving here is these things. See those little squiggles? Those little dead trees or whatever they are. They're a lot less valuable than what Tagada is clicking on, which are the rocks. So nice to see first bomber work out decently well there. It was pretty good, and could have been better if we just didn't overbuild power turret. That's all we needed. And this is it's actually extremely common, it feels like at this point, for people to just be overbuilding power in the opening. Maybe people are just afraid of power stalling so much in the opening, but people have probably noticed in a lot of casts that this is a serious issue for a lot of people. It's just building too many P-gens and not enough factories in the opening, and having no mass and wasting power. Now Tagada is in the stage where he's getting a lot of reclaim, so he has to turn it into P-gens so he can turn it then into more factories, more economy. He's also going to be getting a lot of mexes very soon. Over here, still getting a lot of reclaim. And right now we have 8 factories land. 15 mantis. Similar number of strikers, but not the same number of factories at all. It says 7, but there's a lot of them not close to completion. Actually, I don't even see them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so... And Tagada way ahead on mass, and it's got to come down to the reclaim. 2,600, 4,200. This is one of the reasons this map is... I'm not a fan of it, really. I think the layout is interesting. I'm fine with the layout. I quite like the layout, but these rocks, quite frustrating to have them be so important to click on. Shout out to all the map makers who do not do this kind of thing on their map. Reclaim wise, hydrocarbon got to come up soon. And I was kind of expecting a fast T2 land. This is here comes T2 land before gonna hit around 7 minutes. I was kind of expecting like a super fast T2 land. I think Turin likes to do these kind of strategies. Here we have a building versus reclaiming war. Probably many of you have seen this, but see, this engineer's building, this one's reclaiming, and they can never finish either. Can't be reclaimed to past 0, and the builder can't construct it. I'm sure Tagada will notice it eventually. But he's reclaiming this factory because he probably is thinking that, well, one, he may not have mass for it, or he may think that T1 land is not going to be a good investment. T2 land is what's required now. A lot of Mantis heading towards this expansion. There's not many units ready to defend. They're actually leaving. Turin doesn't see this coming because he has no radar here whatsoever. There's just a load of Mantis going to run through and kill this whole expansion. Probably the factory as well. Probably the hydrocarbon as well. And the strikers are just out of position. Even if they were in position, they would not be able to stop this. There's more than double the units here. This is terrible for Tagada. For Turin, sorry. He can't defend against this. His AC is completely out of position in the middle of the map. Looks like he was reclaiming things or something, but just there's no defenses here and no radar to even spot an attack coming. So this is a game-winning attack. Tagada now heading towards the front line. I wouldn't be surprised to see an upgrade from him in the near future. T2 land is halfway done for him. Probably some T2 mexes on the way as well. Yep, we got one at 80%, one at 35%. Turin meanwhile is transitioning into T2 land fully. Still making some strikers, but mainly his mass is going into T2 land via these support factories and the HQ. But look at this. This damage is absolutely crushing, and there's not really any excuse for allowing that to happen. He was transitioning in the midst of transitioning to T2 land, so he's obviously going to be low on T1 units, but then no PD, no ACU here, no radar, and units out of position. Not enough units here, so Turin really messed up here. And the pillars, once the 2 pillars come in, he needs to make sure he doesn't waste the strikers. Don't waste the strikers before the pillars are here. This is where micro becomes crucial. This is... I mean, actually, Tagada can push in and fight this. Turin recognizes that, retreats. What is this drop from Tagada? Dropping a load of engineers to the back corner here? Is he trying to like make a proxy or something? He's actually stolen these mexes. And oh, Turin's been caught in the middle of the map with his ACU completely isolated. Once again, he has no idea what's happening. No radar. Well, the radar reaches to here. He's not getting to the water now. Gets a nice overcharge, but not nice enough. And he goes down. And Tagada takes him out. Ends the game quickly. We've just gone past 10.5 minutes. And Turin loses 3-0. Tagada had reached T2 land. Tagada was in a completely winning position. He had economy. He was certainly behind in terms of T2 land, but the damage he did with T1 far outweighs that disadvantage, and Tagada takes the series 3-0 in the final. Now both of these guys will have qualified. Top 4 qualify for the end of your tournament. Tagada gets the best seed, Turin gets the 2nd seed, Esperanto gets 3rd seed, and Swakkel, our tournament host for the fall and summer invitationals, gets the 4th seed. Thank you to all the players. Check out the other casters for this tournament in the description or on the cards, and yeah, check those out. Click on the links. Check out all the links on the screen and the description, and thanks to FTX for hosting these tournaments and commentating live. Also, yeah, that's enough. Thank you to all of you watching, and especially to the new channel members and the patrons on Patreon. So see you next time, guys. Have a good one.